January 2014. A group of experienced cavers set out to explore Lost John's Cave, an impressive underground system stretching nearly 3 miles with depths reaching around 700 feet. This wasn't a reckless group. They studied maps, planned their route, packed the right gear. But in the world of caving, there's a brutal truth. When something goes wrong, planning doesn't always save you. As the team descended deeper into the cave, everything went smoothly. Using ropes and equipment, they overcame each obstacle in their path, until they reached a section known simply as the Tube, an extremely narrow passage that forced them to crawl on their stomachs. To make things worse, part of it was partially flooded. Water filled the tight space, reducing visibility and making breathing more difficult. Still, they decided to continue. The slimmest member went first and managed to squeeze through. Next was Bob Johnson, but Bob wasn't as slim. Halfway through the flooded passage, disaster struck. He became completely wedged, trapped from the waist down. Every attempt to free himself only forced him tighter into the rock. The more he struggled, the worse it became. And then came the terrifying realization: the water was slowly rising. Pinned inside a narrow stone tunnel, unable to move, with water gradually climbing higher. Panic could have ended everything, but instead of forcing him forward like they had planned, one of the team members suggested something different. Pull him back, slowly, carefully, the exact way he came in. It wasn't easy. Every inch required coordination and control, but little by little, Bob began to move, until finally, he was free, exhausted, shaken, but alive.
This? Yeah, it looks tight. Really, I get it. Pull it!
That day inside Lost John's Cave proved something every explorer eventually learns. Underground, the margin for error is razor thin, and sometimes the only way out is the way you came in. This man thought he had done it all. Deep cave explorations, narrow squeezes, hours underground with nothing but rock and darkness around him. But this time, it was different. In a video uploaded on January 10th, the explorer behind the YouTube channel Caveman Hike pushes into what might be his most dangerous passage yet.
So far, I haven't felt like that squeeze, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to take the light with me, is the problem. If I go Superman style, I can certainly get through, but then my clothes are going to bunch up, and it'll look cool on camera, but very uncomfortable bunching clothes up and backing up at the same time. So one of the nice things about these is you can use I take my feet and I pinch it up against the ceiling, and then I use that to leverage myself backwards. So I'm leveraging myself through here. And I fit okay. It didn't look like I was gonna, but I'm pretty much, I just have a hard time leveraging myself to move myself over this knuckle. But it's gonna be a little lossy here.
At first, it looks manageable, just another tight squeeze. But the deeper he moves, the tighter it gets.
Trying to give you a decent view of what's going on in my little gumdrop's life here. I'll bring you closer. There we go. So it's all about leverage, and I don't know where my feet are here. But
that's when it hits him. This isn't worth it. Slowly, carefully, inch by inch, he forces himself to reverse out of the narrow gap. No sudden movements, no panic, just patience. And somehow, he makes it out. No injuries, no rescue team. Just a close call he won't forget. But here's the real question. How many explorers push just a little too far and never get the chance to crawl back out? Since early 2020, twin brothers Edward and James, creators of the YouTube channel Action Adventure, have made a name for themselves exploring some of the tightest and most dangerous cave systems they can find. But in March 2021, one decision nearly changed everything. The brothers set out to explore the well-known Pettyjohn Cave, aiming for a section ominously called Nervous Breakdown, a name that speaks for itself. The trip began smoothly. They squeezed through a narrow entrance and reached a larger open chamber, but the deeper they went, the tighter the cave became. Crawling turned into squeezing. Squeezing turned into forcing their bodies through spaces barely wider than their shoulders.
This one's tight.
After about 25 minutes underground, they reached their first major obstacle, a muddy chamber with a deep pit in the center. One wrong step could mean sliding into a tight shaft with almost no chance of climbing back out. Carefully, they passed it. Then they arrived at the entrance to Nervous Breakdown. Pitch black darkness swallowed the passage ahead. After scouting the area, Edward made a risky choice. He would descend further, while James stayed behind in case something went wrong. That decision would haunt him minutes later.
I don't hear James anymore. Uh-oh.
As Edward crawled deeper, he tried calling out to his brother. No response. Again, nothing.
James! James! It's been like 30 minutes since I last saw him. I don't even know where I'm at. I tried to go back to the last place I saw him, and everything just looks the same. It's just
Somehow, in the twisting tunnels, he had taken a wrong turn. He was alone, in an unknown part of the cave with no communication. At first, he stayed calm. He kept moving, thinking James might be just ahead, but after 30 minutes of silence, fear began to creep in. Every tunnel looked the same under the dim beam of his headlamp. Jagged rock walls, narrow squeezes, no landmarks, no sense of direction. And in a cave like this, panic is your worst enemy. One wrong movement, one tight squeeze in the wrong direction, and he could become wedged somewhere no one could reach him. Realizing the danger, Edward stopped pushing forward and tried to retrace his steps. It wasn't easy. Exhausted and mentally drained, he carefully scanned the walls until something caught his eye. A strip of yellow marker tape. He had seen it before while descending. Relief hit instantly. Following the tape step by step, he navigated back through the maze until finally, a voice answered him.
Oh! You're over here? Oh, dude. This place is a maze, man. Oh, hey, I see your light. Dude, I thought we were never gonna see each other. Dude, I know. Oh.
James. Reunited, the brothers made it out safely. And while they continue exploring to this day, they never forgot the lesson learned deep inside Pettyjohn Cave. Because underground, it only takes one wrong turn to disappear. Alex, the creator behind the YouTube channel Cantrell Caving, is known for exploring some of the most dangerous and unpredictable cave systems in the world. But this time, his passion nearly cost him his life. On November 3rd, 2023, Alex and 4 friends, including his close friend Jacob, entered a cave they had never explored before. The plan was simple: follow the rope.
You know, I don't think this is gonna give us the accurate.
You're the gasket sealed, yeah?
Alright.
Let's get into it!
At first, everything felt calm. The group moved deeper underground, carefully navigating narrow passages. But before long, conditions began to change. Water started rising. The tunnels grew tighter. Sections of the cave were partially flooded. The air became thick with moisture, and the rocks beneath them turned slick and unstable. With every step, they were forced lower, deeper, further from the entrance. Soon, some passages were completely submerged. To get through, they had to duck their heads under the water just to keep moving.
Yes, significantly better.
It keeps going, keep going. Tell everyone how brave I was.
I got water in my ear. I can't hear you.
Then the rain don't play around. Alright, 24-hour challenge in the cave.
Yeah.
As they crawled deeper into the flooded tunnel, fear became visible on Alex's face. The water level rose higher and higher until it filled his ears.
Yeah. Really? That makes it easier. Yeah. I don't like it.
Which way did you go, Edward?
These Phoenix lights are doing pretty good in the water.
So what?
I would say my Phoenix lights are doing pretty good in the water. I'm going like in and out of the being able to hear anything. My ears are going in the water. You're going
Wait, hold on.
sideways.
I can't hear Edward.
Go.
Edward, go right as soon as you go right.
The only way to breathe was to keep his head lifted at just the right angle. One slip, and it would be over. Then, everything went wrong.
I'm glad I didn't go in there and
Are you going, Jacob? Oh, he just bailed. Stop. You're good.
Oh my God! I'm coming out.
All right, we'll back it out.
Back it out. Come on out. Holy crap! You okay? Man, you look like the sharpest guy. You like shoved me over the water. I'm sorry, Alex.
One of Alex's friends began to panic. Struggling to breathe, he lost control, nearly dragging both of them underwater. In the chaos, seconds felt like minutes. Somehow, they managed to keep their heads above the rising water. Fighting exhaustion and fear, the group pulled themselves out of the flooded section and retraced their path. Against the odds, they made it out. Shaken, silent, alive. A reminder that underground, even a simple plan can turn deadly in seconds.
All right, we got our rope strung up, and we're going in. Woo, that's deeper than I thought.
Two experienced cavers ventured deep into a remote forest, far from any rescue teams, far from cell service, far from help. No matter how skilled you are, no matter how prepared you think you are, when something goes wrong inside a cave, it can turn fatal in seconds. And if you struggle with claustrophobia, this might be one of the most uncomfortable videos you'll ever watch. At first, everything felt calm. The cave entrance opened into a surprisingly spacious chamber. Their headlamps revealed high ceilings, rough limestone walls, and the echo of dripping water somewhere in the darkness. They set their ropes and began descending deeper and deeper. As they rappelled down the shaft, the temperature dropped, the air became heavier, the silence thicker. That's when they reached a lower section of the cave and noticed something. A tight opening. A narrow passage that looked just big enough to crawl through. Water flowed slowly beneath it, and the rock ceiling above was smooth and uncomfortably close to the surface below. You couldn't stand, you couldn't crouch, you had to crawl. One of the brothers hesitated. The space looked like it might widen further ahead, From where they were positioned, it seemed possible that the tight squeeze opened into something bigger. And curiosity is powerful underground. So he made the decision. He went in. At first, it wasn't too bad. Tight, yes, but manageable. He kept crawling forward, inch by inch. The sound of water sloshing under him echoed in the confined space. Every movement required effort. Every breath felt amplified.
Room for me to move my head. If I try and tilt it up, my mouth goes underwater. Gotta keep pushing it down.
But then, something changed. The ceiling began lowering. The rock above and the surface below slowly started converging. The space wasn't widening, it was shrinking. His movements became more restricted. Turning his head became difficult. Even adjusting his shoulders required force. That's when it hit him. If he continued forward and it narrowed any more, turning around might become impossible. In caves, there are no shortcuts, no sudden exits, no room for panic, just rock and time.
An inch, I'm squished like a bug. If I want to stand my head up, I can't. It just goes underwater. Oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna get stuck. So the reason I kept pushing is I thought it was gonna get wider, but as I'm getting closer I realized it's an illusion. The water was just so calm and still above me that it was reflecting the ceiling off, and it just looked like a way bigger space. But it's continuing to narrow down. It's been like an off and on raining type of day. If it floods at all, I'm done for. So I'm gonna attempt to turn back around.
He made the decision to turn around. But turning around in a tight crawl space with water beneath you and solid rock inches from your face is not simple. Every movement had to be calculated, slow, controlled. If he panicked, he could waste energy, or worse, get stuck. His brother waited behind him, watching, knowing that if something went wrong, there would be very little he could do. Minute by minute, he reversed his way out, carefully pulling, carefully twisting, slowly reclaiming space, until finally, he emerged back into the wider section of the cave, safe. It was a close call, the kind that reminds even experienced explorers that caves do not forgive mistakes. Underground, overconfidence can trap you, curiosity can corner you, and tight spaces can become permanent. Luckily, this time, experience won, and they both made it out. If you think this was intense, wait until you see the next one. Click on the video appearing on your screen now. You won't believe what happens next.